Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be taking a look here at the HG Build Divers Earthree Gundam. But of course, as you're seeing it now, this is just the core Gundam, which is at the center of the Earthree Gundam. So we're going to take a look at the core Gundam first, and then we'll armor it up and turn it into the Earthree, and then we'll take a look at that in its entirety. So first of all, the core Gundam here is in a very, I want to say cute, but I don't really... It's not really, I don't know, it depends on your personal taste. I don't really find it all that cute. It's kind of weird looking, is kind of the word maybe I would describe this as. But it is what it is. Here is how it looks. It's in that semi-SD sort of scale. I think if the legs were a little shorter and the head was a little bigger, it'd be more towards SD scale. But it's something like that. It looks funny. But I think the idea is pretty unique, and it's a pretty cool, interesting idea that they're trying with this, so I'll give Bandai some credit for that. But I think it's going to look ultimately much better once we get it all armored up with the Earthree armor on there. Anyway, as always, guys, this review is made possible by USA Gundam Store, so do check the link to USA Gundam Store there down below if you want to check out their site, and you can use that coupon code there down below, ZakuAurelius 10, to save 10% off of everything on their site. Thank you so much for the support. And let's check out the accessories here that we've got here for the core Gundam first. So first up, we've got these short, clear, pink beam saber effect parts for his core sabers, which are stored there on the back, obviously, but those can be used in their full Earthree form as well. So in that case, you'll use these longer pink beam saber effect parts for that, for just the regular beam sabers. We've got the core spray gun, which obviously is a little bit modeled after a beam spray gun used by a gym, and it does have that foil green sticker there for the camera lens for that. Now this will also have some extension parts added on to make the full-on beam rifle for the Earthree Gundam shortly. And then we have the core shield as well, which will also have some extension parts to add on to that to make the full-on shield once we get it all transformed. This one does have a little peg which will fold out here. That's for storing it on the backpack. This is the handle to hold it in the hand. So it's a little bit awkward because you're kind of like holding it like that, which I guess is holding it in the front, but it's just like from the side it looks a bit strange. Of course you could, I suppose, turn the hand a little bit off to the side and like have it like that. So whatever the case, it does look cool from the front in that it actually looks like he's actually protecting himself with the shield, but it does look a little weird. The handle is a bit strange. But so we have these two adapter pieces. Now this is adapter for the Earthree Gundam, so we'll come back to that, but this is the adapter here for the core Gundam, so you'll need to use this in order to attach the shield onto here. So plug that onto his backpack there like that, and then you fold out the peg and just plug that right in there into that adapter piece, and then the shield is stored on his backpack. It looks a little bit goofy how you have a backpack and then adapter piece and then the shield stored there on the back, but again, from the front it looks fine because it's not really noticeable. You can see the shield is stored on the back there, but otherwise it looks a bit strange. But you can also use this adapter piece like so. If you remove the core Gundam backpack there and just plug this in its place, then you've got your kind of standard 2-peg adapter system here for plugging onto any other sort of option backpack parts that you want to plug onto here from other different kits or other different option sets. You can then plug them straight onto the back of the core Gundam. Again, a little bit of a gap there, which is kind of strange, so I guess maybe if you really wanted to use this like that, what I would do is maybe cut this peg to be a little bit shorter so that we can plug this all the way in so that it'd be flush against the backpack, so you won't have that gap there like that. But that's just me if you wanted to do something like that. As far as the stickers on this kit, we basically just have ones for the eyes there, of course, naturally, and then one for the head on the camera on the top of the head, and then the camera on the back of the head as well, just little foil green stickers for those. As for the articulation of the core Gundam, the head will go up to there and then down all the way to there, no problem with that. The clear green part on the chest does look really nice, no stickers or anything for that. I think that Bandai could have easily just made that just a foil sticker to go over the front, but it's nice that that's an actual clear green piece. It looks great. As for the shoulders, they will move forward and back a little bit like that. They do have this function where they kind of slide out like that, but that's not actually for any improvement to the articulation. That's just for transforming it into the core Gundam. You're going to need that, or into the Earthree Gundam. As for upward movement, you can get the arm still up pretty nice though, all the way up to there. It's very good. That's nice. And then rotation here at the arm, pretty normal. Double joint at the elbow, also good. And then the wrist is just on a ball joint. You can move that around like that. The hand looks a bit weird without the cover on the back of it. We'll add that on later, but again, I guess kind of the whole thing does look a bit weird, obviously. We don't have any forward and back movement or side to side movement here in the torso section at all. You can rotate that though a little bit side to side like that. These little tiny bits of skirt armor here will rotate forward and back. These are just joined together, the little yellow bits there. So those will move, otherwise it doesn't have any skirt armor yet, so that's just all of that does. At the hips, you can bring the legs out to the side all the way to there, pretty nice, and then obviously forward and back, not going to be a problem with the lack of any skirting armor. You have some rotation here at the top of the leg, and then for our, I guess, knee bend, as it were, you're going to be able to bend that like that, and then the foot bends all the way back like so, so no problems with the bending there. In the ankle, as you just saw, that whole bit kind of moves forward and back, and then this whole part also moves down like so, and then you can just also tilt that off to the side like that if you want to get like a really wide stance out of this. It's not going to be a problem at all, so that's good. To give you a sense of the size of this, here it is compared to a normal size RX-78 HG Gundam, and so you can see it's going to be pretty short there, coming up about to the RX-78's torso midsection. So as for the core Gundam itself, it's pretty cool. I mean, it does everything that it needs to do, and it's, like I said, again, a very unique look. People might probably have very mixed opinions about whether they would ever want to display this kind of as is. I think what is nice is, though, is that with Bandai did decide to sell this as a set. I think that Bandai could have easily maybe sold this as just its own thing, just as its own kit, just like this, the core Gundam itself as maybe just like 1,000 yen, and then sold all the armor sets separately, which may not have been all that bad, because maybe, for example, you really prefer one armor set over the other, then you could just buy the armor sets that you want separately. I guess is not the worst thing in the world. But again, whatever you think of it, it is a very unique look. The articulation is there, and it's got accessories. It really is its own kind of thing. So it is its own kit. So kind of what you get in the box here is sort of like 2 kits almost, or like a kit and a half, I guess. And so I think it does really add a sense of value to what you're getting in the box. You really feel like you're getting your money's worth with the gimmick of the core Gundam as what it is. Then of course we have the Earthree armor, which fortunately also comes with its own stand as well. Now this just as its own thing, just as a flyer, I suppose, it doesn't really look all that bad, honestly. So if you wanted to have this displayed separately, just the core Gundam and the Earthree armor just kind of flying alongside, I think it wouldn't look all that bad. Because this isn't a full Gundam just folded up into a Wave Rider mode or a flight mode or something, it doesn't quite have that Gundam folded up look. You can still kind of recognize the legs there on the bottom, and it's kind of parts of the arms sort of on the side, and like the top back part is pretty obviously like a shield, so you can recognize certain parts of it. But I think as its own thing, it is pretty convincing, so it's definitely something more than just a throwaway gimmick. I could definitely see someone painting this up nicely and have it actually flying alongside the core Gundam for a pretty nice display. But it's only when we remove the stand and then take our Earthree armor and our core Gundam and bash them together that we'll get. We have the Earthree Gundam. So there it is. It looks pretty cool. Now it looks very convincing as just a normal HG Gundam kit. You really can't even tell that there's a folded up core Gundam inside of there, except maybe when you look at the back, you can kind of see the core Gundam's feet sticking out the back of the legs there, maybe a little bit. Looks a bit strange, but other than that, that's pretty much it. And now just real quick before we move on, I want to talk about this other adapter piece that we mentioned before. If you remove this part here on the backpack, there you can see once again it's just the core Gundam's backpack with the beam sabers just turned upwards. Then you can plug this on in its place there like that over the top of that, and then you got once again your standard 2-peg kind of backpack adapter there. You've also got these pegs out to the side where you could plug something onto the side like that, some other option pack parts or something. So it's a pretty interesting option part adapter that you can plug on top of the core Gundam's backpack inside there. And at this point all the articulation is pretty much the same, so we don't really need to go back over that. I'll just show you once again the rifle here with its extended parts there added onto it, so that's pretty cool. They also have a gimmick. You'll notice there's a little bit here on the side that these parts here on the front, this kind of like little fork bit, you can pull those off, and then you'll slide it into this section here more so that it's more opened up. So there you go, it's going to look like that, and that's just going to be for kind of larger blast effect, and you're going to use that in all together here with the shield. Now we have the full shield, and once again you're still going to hold it by the same kind of a little bit awkward handle, but this bit off to the side here and this little camera are this little just a sticker there for that camera once again. This will just plug onto the side. Just when you're holding this two-handed, the shield will plug into the side of the rifle like that, and this part will actually fold forward like that for just kind of shield attached onto the rifle. And so here it is in use, and yeah, I gotta say it's a pretty cool gimmick that you can do with this. It's not very often that we have a shield and any sort of gun or cannon or anything that connect together, so that's another something pretty unique about this kit. I mean, it's just kind of one simple thing, but it's a unique gimmick, so add that to the list of unique gimmicks that this kit has, I suppose. But I think basically what we've got now is just, like I said, your pretty standard HG Build Fighters kits, but that said, a pretty nice one. So even if the kit was just this, if it didn't have the core Gundam aspect of it inside of there, then I would say it's a pretty solid, simple, high grade. But the fact that it also has the core Gundam there, that adds a whole other layer, if you will, to the kind of interest or the uniqueness of this kit. So that's pretty nice. I gotta say, it's a great way to start off the line. I'm not sure about how the rest of the kits in the line are going to hold up to this, but this was definitely a really unique experience for HG kit. So if you're looking for something a little bit different with a little bit different look to it, although, you know, still sticking to the pretty standard sort of build fighters, build divers sort of Gundam look to it, I would say check the kit out. I think there's a lot to enjoy about this kit, albeit, you know, relatively simple in terms of its construction and everything. The design and the gimmicks, I think, make it a pretty enjoyable experience. So that said, as for anything kind of sort of technical things to point out about the construction of this, as far as like seam lines, it doesn't really have a whole lot of seam lines. It's got a seam line on the head, but honestly, that's pretty much it. All the rest of any seam lines are just kind of made up for by just like a panel line. For example, like the top of the shoulder is a very common place for a seam line on an HG kit, and it's just the seam line is just hidden as just a detail on the top of the shoulder, so you don't really have to worry about that. So it's going to be a really easy kit to paint up as well. Very little work necessary to get this ready for painting, just a little bit of just kind of sanding or normal typical painting prep work, and just the seam line there on the head, if you're really bothered by that in the first place. Of course, there's a seam on the rifle as well, but that one's also mostly covered up as just detail on the rifle, so you don't really need to worry too much about that either even. So if you're looking for a cool, fun, relaxing kit to paint up, I think this would be a nice one. Or if you're looking for something just to be able to put in a whole bunch of different poses and use some really cool, unique gimmicks, then I think this will be one for you as well. So that's pretty much it for the review, guys. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any of the further questions or comments, of course, feel free to leave those down below. Again, thanks to USA Gundam Store for their support, and thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Bye, guys.